Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. As the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, Office of Early Learning Parent Education section shares updates to the Early Childhood Development Act ECDA Administrative Manual. For our agenda, we will be sharing the highlights to the ECDA Administrative Manual that will guide you in your work as a PAT supervisor and parent educator for the 21-22 program year. This presentation will also provide answers to frequently asked questions you may have as you prepare children, families, schools, and communities for school readiness. Let's begin with some highlights to the 21-22 ECDA Administrative Manual. First, we will talk about the clarifications made to the Missouri PAT programs. Next, we will address the initial professional development requirements for new parent educators, as well as newly hired PAT supervisors. We will also cover the annual professional development requirements for parent educators. This will be followed by a quick look at curriculum training and ending with an overview of the virtual options available to PAT programs. As a reminder, this webinar is only covering the ECDA Administrative Manual highlights. All PAT supervisors and parent educators are encouraged to review the ECDA Administrative Manual in its entirety to ensure all requirements are understood. Beginning with the clarifications made to Missouri PAT programs, it is important to recognize that all school districts in Missouri must provide parents as teachers services according to the program requirements outlined in this manual, including family personal visits, developmental screenings, group connections, and access to a resource network. In addition to the requirements of the Missouri program, school districts have the option of following further requirements, as outlined by the Parents as Teachers National Center, to meet the definition of affiliate status, such as model implementation training, the essential requirements, annual performance reports, and any additional PAT&C requirements. Next, let's walk through the initial and annual professional development training requirements. Beginning with the initial requirements, all first-year parent educators must complete the following: foundational curriculum available from the Parents as Teachers National Center. This training is targeted to parent educators providing services to families with children prenatal to 3 years of age and does not count towards the required 20 hours of professional development. Foundational 2 curriculum, also available from the Parents as Teachers National Center. This training is targeted to parent educators providing services to families with children 3 years of age to kindergarten entry, and also does not count towards the required 20 hours of professional development. The first-year parent educator must also spend 1 hour completing a family personal visit observation of an experienced parent educator. This observation occurs after curriculum training and has to be completed and prior to providing parent education services to families. This hour may be documented as professional development hours. If the parent educator is unable to schedule an in-person observation, then a recorded visit observation is available for the parent educator to view on the Missouri Parents as Teachers Professional Development Program website. There are 12 hours of DESE-specific trainings that must be completed, which are offered virtually or in person, depending on your region of the state. These trainings consist of a 4-hour session covering an introduction to Missouri Parents as Teachers requirements for programs, a 3-hour session covering an introduction to health and screening procedures, and a 5-hour session on building foundational partnership visit 1 and beyond. Additionally, first-year parent educators will participate in a 3-hour family visit consultation by a Missouri consultant. This visit should occur approximately 2 months after beginning to provide services to families. And lastly, first-year parent educators complete 4 hours of additional professional development that support areas of need as part of their professional growth plan. Please note, model implementation training is no longer required for Missouri PAT programs. Only programs choosing to seek the optional affiliate status with the Parents as Teachers National Center would be required to complete model implementation training. Not only do first-year parent educators have required initial professional development, within 6 months of being hired, PAT supervisors must complete required professional development. PAT supervisors must attend Introduction to Missouri Parents as Teachers Requirements for Programs and Building a Foundational Partnership, Visit 1 and beyond. PAT supervisors are encouraged to attend ongoing PLC trainings offered by the Missouri PAT Professional Development Program to assist in their role as a PAT supervisor. Model implementation training is no longer required for Missouri programs for the PAT supervisor. Now let's talk about the annual professional development requirements. School districts create a professional training and development plan for each parent educator that documents the following: professional goals and identified training needs and opportunities, and professional development hours. The PAT supervisor and parent educator review the professional training and development plan at the end of the program year to assist with setting goals for the next program year. Professional development supports and enhances the knowledge, skills, and practices of an individual to earn or maintain credentials. Parent educators are required to complete and document 20 hours of annual professional development approved by the PAT supervisor. Professional development should occur annually, and the school district ensures that all parent educators complete the professional development hours and must renew the curriculum subscription annually with the Parents as Teachers National Center by September 30th. Additionally, professional development must come from a variety of sources that include state and local training opportunities, professional development during staff meetings, participation in national webinars, and online courses. Recommended sources include the Missouri Parents as Teachers Professional Development Program, the Parents as Teachers National Center, and the Institute for the Advancement of Family Support Professionals. Furthermore, professional development must correlate with the Institute for the Advancement of Family Support Professionals core competency standards. All Missouri PAT programs must utilize the Parents as Teachers National Center curriculum, and school districts must obtain and renew the curriculum subscription annually through the Parents as Teachers National Center. Many have been wondering about the option to conduct visits, developmental screenings, and group connections in a virtual format for the 21-22 school year. The department is happy to report this option will continue to be available to parent educators. For family personal visits, in-person visits are the preferred method. However, virtual is allowed per school district and health department policies, or if the family is not ready for in-person visits. For developmental screenings, in-person or virtual is allowed. If the screening is conducted virtually, the functional hearing, vision, and dental screening is waived. For group connections, it is recommended that programs provide monthly, in-person, or virtual group connections during the program year. If providing virtual group connections, visit the Missouri Parents as Teachers Professional Development Program webpage for recommendations. Now let's take a look at some of the frequently asked questions related to the 21-22 ECDA manual. First, what is the timeline for annual professional development? The answer is DESE has two professional development requirements. One, all parent educators receive 20 hours of professional development annually. And two, parent educators renew their curriculum subscription with the Parents as Teachers National Center by September 30th. The next question is, can only new PAT supervisors attend the Introduction to Missouri Parents as Teachers requirements for programs and Building a Foundational Partnership Visit 1 and beyond? The answer is, any PAT supervisor can participate in these trainings to further support their role as a PAT supervisor, not just new PAT supervisors. Continuing on with frequently asked questions, the next question is, how many group connections are required per year? The answer is, it is recommended that programs provide monthly group connections during the program year. Programs can also consider partnering with other groups to help provide these monthly contacts. And the last question is, does the virtual visit option include telecommunication? Is there a standard time length for virtual visits? The answer is yes, telecommunication is a virtual option. For more information on the different components and guidelines for virtual visits, refer to the Stay Connected webinar on the Early Learning webpage. This concludes the webinar on the Early Childhood Development Act ECDA Administrative Manual Highlights for the 21-22 program year. Again, we encourage you to review the manual thoroughly and reach out to the Early Learning Office if you have any questions. Thank you for your time and good luck in your endeavors to serve Missouri's children and families.